Yeah, thanks so much, Emmy, and thanks to Chairman Molinar for your leadership on these issues. My name is Cole McFall. I'm a senior research analyst and Andrew Marshall Fellow here at CSET. And I'll be presenting the results from an analysis that we've been conducting over the past year and a half. And we just published this analysis in September. This report is called Pulling Back the Curtain on China's Military-Level Fusion, How the PLA Mobilizes Civilian AI for Strategic Advantage, which I wrote with my colleagues Sam Bresnick and Daniel Cho. There's copies here at the table. I encourage you to pick one up and read it. It's the first in a series of projects using a new data set of PLA procurement documents. I'll flag that Sam and I just have a piece out today in Foreign Policy, which is a 850-word version of the report. So if you don't have time to read a 40-page one, pick that up as well. So this project relies on a novel set of 2,800 AI-related contract award notices published by the PLA between January 2023 and December 2024. We used a chain of LLMs to extract information from each contract award notice, including contract value, bids submitted, and contract winners. Importantly, here we're defining AI-related as a contract award notice that supports the development and deployment of AI-enabled or autonomous technologies. So not just language models, although there's some of those, but also vision models, unmanned and autonomous systems, augmented and virtual reality projects, simulation and training environments, smart manufacturing and robotics, and others. So it's a broader definition of AI related here. And for this project, we're really focused on the 338 entities that were awarded 2 or more AI related contracts. For each one, we collected open source information and assigned each into one of 3 categories based on publicly available, again, self-reported information. So those 3 categories are state-owned enterprises, research institutions, which mostly universities and research laboratories, and the non-traditional vendors, which are firms that did not self-report state ownership on their website. So key flag there is non-traditional vendors doesn't mean that they don't have state ownership ties. It just means that they're not self-reporting them. These kind of non-traditional vendors are more recently founded. They advertise themselves as kind of these new, innovative tech companies. And really here, we're answering the question, who supplies the PLA with AI-related goods and services? So what do we find? First, as you might expect, we found that state-owned enterprises like AVIC, Norinco, which have long supplied the PLA, and defense-affiliated research institutions like the Chinese Academy of Sciences, like the Seven Sons of National Defense, tend to win the most AI-related contracts. As you can see here, 9 of our top 10 contract awardees were either SOEs or these defense-affiliated research institutions. So you can see the ugly green and the red, those are kind of research institutions as green, SOEs as red. But a deeper look at who supplies the PLA with AI-related goods and services reveals that there's a wider range of organizations that are also active in PLA procurement of these AI-related goods and services. So non-traditional vendors, which again refers to firms that do not have self-reported state ownership ties, were awarded the plurality of AI-related contracts in our data set. Nearly 70% of the entities in our data set were these non-traditional vendors. These include iFlyTech Digital, which has close ties to iFlyTech, which you're probably familiar with, big NLP company, translation, data mining, speech recognition. PySat, which is a publicly listed company that markets data fusion services and virtual combat simulation platforms. And Sichuan Tengden, which is notable because it's one of the first known cases of a non-SOE supplying a complete military end-use system to the PLA. I think one thing that was surprising to us was the role of universities here, and particularly civilian universities or universities outside of China's traditional defense sector. So as you can see here, the Seven Sons of National Defense and the Chinese Academy of Sciences are also leaders, but so too are these universities that we don't traditionally associate with China's defense sector. So Shanghai Jiaotong, Tsinghua, Peking University, were all awarded substantial contracts in our data set. Importantly, these are not contracts for basic research, but to provide applied military capabilities to the PLA. To be sure, we're not saying that every civilian university is working with the PLA and every researcher is working in the defense sector, but it does underscore the challenges associated with doing research security well. And then just to further emphasize this kind of new class of emerging defense suppliers, this figure shows the founding year of each of the 338 entities that were awarded 2 or more AI-related contracts. You can see that most of the non-traditional vendors in our data set were founded after 2010, and almost 100 were founded between 2015 and 2018. That follows Xi Jinping's elevation of MCF to the level of national strategy in 2015. So all in all, our findings provide evidence that Beijing's efforts to expand AI-related military procurement beyond the PLA's traditional network of suppliers may be yielding results. We think this underscores the complexity of doing economic security, of safeguarding our national security. We're mindful of the limitations of the study, but we still think our analysis demonstrates, at least in AI-related procurement, military-civil fusion is no longer just an aspiration, but a reality. And so unless the U.S. is able to adapt to that reality, it may be facing a more capable, adaptable, and technologically sophisticated Chinese defense industrial base. With that, I'll pass it off to Sam, who will elaborate on some of this.
Sorry, one sec. I have to get my textbook to prop up my computer because the podium is a little bit small for me. All right. Okay. Thank you, Cole, for taking us through the project, which we spent a lot of time doing and turned out, luckily, I think, pretty well. And thanks to all of you for joining us today. Over the past few decades, China has pursued an ambitious military modernization push. And key to its strategy for winning future wars is gathering and analyzing a tremendous quantity of data. As Cole noted, Beijing is not relying solely on traditional state-owned defense enterprises to develop these technologies. Instead, it has deliberately sought to harness the dynamism and innovation capacity of its commercial technology sector, particularly its fast-evolving AI ecosystem. At the center of this approach lies military-civil fusion, as Cole mentioned. Chinese leaders recognize that cutting-edge military capabilities increasingly stem not only from the military sector, but also from commercial innovations. And in a striking shift, the People's Liberation Army, or PLA, has begun advertising its needs, establishing public portals where commercial firms can bid on certain defense contracts. Of course, only a slice of these military contracts are advertised publicly, and the majority of China's defense procurement remains behind closed doors, as sad as that makes us here at CSET. That said, this newfound openness aims to, 1, accelerate technology transfers from China's commercial sector into its military, and 2, project perhaps a degree of transparency amid growing scrutiny over corruption in the PLA's procurement ecosystem. I'm happy that Dennis Wilder, who's on the next panel, is going to take us through this corruption question. At CSET, we've been building and analyzing multiple data sets to more precisely assess the threats posed by the Chinese military's adoption of emerging technologies. For example, in a paper published last year, I examined over 100 academic articles by Chinese defense scholars where they identified what they believed were the PLA's military AI roadblocks. While many of these thinkers expressed confidence in AI's transformative potential for the PLA, they also highlighted persistent challenges, such as ensuring system reliability and controllability, managing command and control complexity, and improving data organization and analysis practices. These challenges could, to some degree, hamstring the PLA's ability to deploy emerging technologies in future conflicts. And several of my CSET colleagues have analyzed the strengths and weaknesses of China's technology ecosystem, from chips and chip-making equipment to advanced artificial intelligence models, among other applications, which I'm excited that they will be discussing these later today as well. Looking ahead, we are leveraging this new data set of PLA RFPs, requests for proposals, to map emerging demand signals within China's defense innovation ecosystem. Starting early next year, we'll begin releasing a series of papers exploring which technologies and applications the Chinese military appears to be prioritizing, at least in the open source. Our early findings, however, are striking. The PLA is pursuing AI integration across nearly every dimension of military activity. Across physical domains, the PLA is seeking a wide range of autonomous systems, including aerial drone swarms, underwater autonomous vehicles, and robotic ground platforms. In command and control, it's pursuing AI-enabled decision support tools to process massive amounts of data and give real-time recommendations to commanders. In intelligence, it wants AI-powered image and signals analysis to accelerate target identification and reduce the fog of war. In logistics, it's exploring predictive maintenance algorithms and supply chain optimization tools. In the information domain, we've got experiments with AI techniques for cyber defense and offense, as well as pretty advanced influence operations. And finally, it's mobilizing AI for testing and evaluation, as well as augmented and virtual reality systems for training and simulation. Importantly, this is not a single AI weapons program. The PLA's efforts represent a whole-of-force transformation, a sustained push to embed emerging technologies throughout its tactical, operational, and strategic activities. Rather than merely buying new tools, China is constructing a defense innovation ecosystem capable of continuously absorbing commercial breakthroughs as they emerge. This model poses real challenges for the United States and its allies. China's increasingly diffuse, innovation-based approach is far harder to track and control than traditional centralized weapons systems. It blurs the line between civilian and military technologies and may allow China to field new capabilities that are of a higher quality and faster than expected. Understanding how the system functions and how it differs from our own is essential if we want to compete effectively. And with that context, I'd like to invite my panelists up to the stage for a discussion of China's military modernization and use of AI and emerging technologies. So James, Dennis, and Kristen, please take your places wherever you like. Thank you, everyone.